Buenos dias, and today we're going to be talking about shopping in Lanzarote. Now, on the face of it, Lanzarote is a bit of a shopper's paradise for two reasons. One, we're duty free, and two, our local tax, which is called IGIC, the equivalent to VAT, is only 7%. So there are some bargains to be had. And today I'm going to give you 9 tips for shopping on the island. And number one is check outside of the resort areas. Now, we have 3 main resorts here: Puerto del Carmen, Costa de Gizeh, and Playa Blanca. And whilst all 3 have a lot of shops in them and some very good shops, you're more likely to find bargains and lower prices if you go outside of the resorts where the locals shop. Now, that particularly applies to food, and each of those resorts has several smallish supermarkets which are great for picking up the odd bits and pieces you need on a daily basis. But if you're here for a little time and you want to do what I would call a proper shop, you probably want to head to Playa Honda or Arrecife and visit the really big supermarkets like Mercadona and Eurospar. So head out of the resorts, particularly if you're looking for food. But it's also worth heading out of the resorts for anything else that you're looking for in the way of clothes and stuff like that. We have 3 shopping centres on the island, a relatively small one in Puerto del Carmen called the Biosfera Centre. There's a pretty big one in Playa Honda called Dayland, and the biggest one on the island and relatively new is called Open Mall, and you will find some really good bargains in all 3 of those shopping centres outside of the resort areas. Now, number 2, and it seems a fairly obvious thing, but be here when the sales are on. We do have pretty good sales here, and they're very strictly controlled in Spain. Sales take place from the 7th of January, which is the day after our kind of Christmas Day, Three Kings Day on the 6th, and they last until mid-February. And then the only other time shops have sales are from mid-July to mid-August, and those obviously are the summer sales. If you want to get the best selection of goods, obviously go along at the start of those sale periods. If you want to get the best prices, hang out until the end when they've not got very much stuff that they want to liquidate and they're dropping prices dramatically. Now, number 4, always pay in local currency. Now, that might sound a bit weird, but I'm talking about when you're using cards, and this applies whether you're buying bargains in a shop or paying for a restaurant meal. Quite often when they bring the machine to you to pay with your card, it will ask you if you want to pay in your home currency or your local currency. The answer is wherever you are in the world, always pay in the local currency, which of course here is the euro. The reason you should do this is 2 things happen when you choose your own currency. First of all, the exchange rate you're likely to get through a card machine is relatively low. And secondly, the person who owns the machine, the storekeeper or the restaurant or whatever, they can add a little commission for the currency exchange if they choose to within their merchant account. So it's possible you could end up paying over the odds. So the golden rule there is always pay in the local currency. If you're here, it's euros. If you're in the United States, it's US dollars, and so on and so forth. Now, next up, check the pricing online. That might sound daft, but you're likely to be buying something that you don't regularly buy. And whilst you might see what looks like a bargain, it's always worth just checking online. And it takes a second to do it on your phone, see what you could buy that particular product for in your home country or perhaps elsewhere in Spain. And just double check you really are getting the bargain you think you're getting. And that ties into our next one. If it's too good to be true, move on. We have, and particularly in the resort areas, a number of small electrical shops which are infamous for, let's say, sharp practices. So, I mean, for example, you could walk into one of these in Puerto del Carmen, for example, now, and have a look at a watch, and when you ask the price on the sticker on the back is 150 euros, and then you'll find that you can negotiate it down to 50 euros. They've also been known in the past to change goods and also to sell old model goods. So you think you're buying the latest iPad from them, and it's actually 2 generations back. So whilst it would have been a bargain if it was the current model, it certainly isn't for an old one. So simple rule of thumb, if it's too good to be true, it probably is, and just walk. The next tip is that the airport duty free here is expensive. And they'll probably hate me for saying this, particularly on camera, but it genuinely is. I mean, pretty much anything you buy in the duty-free shop in the airport can be had significantly less expensively in the supermarkets, the shops and the bodegas on the island. So bear in mind, if you're leaving stuff until the last possible minute, which you might have to do if you're travelling on hand luggage only, you are going to pay more at the airport duty-free. And while we're talking about duty-free, remember that you are limited on items that you buy from Lanzarote. And that even applies if you're going to mainland Spain or elsewhere in Europe, because we're a duty-free island. Everyone is subject to restrictions on the amount of alcohol, perfumes, tobacco and cigarettes they can take back. Don't forget to hit the markets. We have some fantastic markets in Lanzarote. Everyone knows about the one in Teguise, the Sunday market, which is the biggest market in the Canary Islands. But there are also markets in Marina Rubicon, in Playa Blanca, in Puerto Calero. There's the lovely craft and local produce market in Aria, and another local produce market in Uga. Costa Teguise also has a market in the evenings. So there's a lot of opportunities to buy stuff from the markets here, and you'll get some real bargains. You'll get good arty crafty stuff, good local food, and particularly at Teguise market you will also get all the usual kind of market tap that you would expect to find. Keep your wits about you. Obviously the Rolexes they're selling in Teguise market aren't real, or are they? And the final tip for you is to buy local stuff. Now, we don't really make anything here, so you're not going to buy mass-produced items. But what we are good at is arty stuff, crafty stuff. Look out for locally made pottery, sculptures, ceramic tiles, pieces of metal work, and all-round art, you know, oil paintings, watercolours and all those kind of things. And the shops and the market stalls here that sell those things are very well set up to be dealing with tourists, so you'll find that they're able to roll them or fold them or package them in such a way you can get them home safely. And of course, as the home of Cesar Manrique, the island has inspired dozens and dozens of really super talented artists that you can have lighting up the walls in your home all year round. So there you go. Hope you've enjoyed those tips, and I've probably missed a few. If I have, please let me know with a comment below. And if you want to see more of these kind of videos, please subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. Thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.